Good day, guys. This is BioFX. Welcome to the weekly top-down analysis on indices, currency pairs, metal, and cryptocurrency. So today we are going to start with the dollar index, right? To tell you the overall movement of the dollar index and where dollar is heading to, right? As you can see, dollar has been bearish for months, as you can see. So this was the major key zone, the major resistance key zone here at around 104,700, and then we got a support at 99,6270, and we are now above the key zone of 101.060, right? That's the key zone, and we are now trading above that particular key zone. So as you can see right now on this particular pair, that's dollar index. As you can see here, we broke out of this particular correctional bearish channel, right? We broke out and then we crashed down, and as you can see, the market is coming back to fill up this particular fair value gaps it has. So as you can see on the daily time frame on DXY, as you can see the candle patterns that are being formed, we are now trading above the weekly key zone of 101.06. So right now we're expecting to see dollar index sell more to the downside, right? Because this overall movement, as you can see, we got support from this particular zone. Could this sound as a recovery for the dollar? We have to see. So for dollar, for now we are bullish. Right now, after this bearish crash to the downside on the daily time frame, right? As you can see, we are now in a correctional channel. So let's go down to the smaller time frame to see what exactly the market is doing. As you can see, just as we said, we are in a correctional channel on dollar index, right? So we might get rejected from this particular zone, right? We might get rejection from this particular zone because this market came back to fill up all possible fair value gaps that it has created in the previous movement in the market. So we're expecting for the market to come back this particular zone, tap here, and then crash back to this particular zone. So if dollar can continue selling, that's the possibility. And there's also possibility of we having a bullish push to the upside. But right now, as you can see, this bullish correctional movement, as you can see on the dollar index. So we are expecting a bullish movement to the upside because as you see, there's a difference between this particular movement, this chart pattern you're seeing here, and this particular one here, because the market came down and then a sharp bullish push to the upside. As you can see, the bullish movement is a very strong one compared to this one, where the market is just moving in a slow phase, right? But look at this, we had the bullish movement, we had the correction and the bullish push to the upside. So this is signaling us for we to have a breakout and then come back, dollar to become more bullish to the upside. So there's two scenarios to this particular movement on dollar, right? Something we are expecting something of this nature if it can break above, right, and then get support here and then keep pushing, right? Then may retrace out and then keep pushing, right? So if dollar can become bullish, that would be a very hard one on other pairs like the metals, like the currencies, and but if we fail to close below and we get rejection here, we're just gonna wait for a possible breakout below, which I doubt due to the pattern we see here, something of this nature, then a breakout, right? A breakout, then a retest, and then we'll come back down to this demand zone where we left before, right? So that is it for dollar index, and as you can see, we're expecting a bullish push on the dollar index for the meantime. So we're going to look out at other currency pair to see exactly what their movement will be if dollar index become bullish. Okay guys, we are now in the Euro USD pair. This is the weekly movement on Euro USD, right? You know, in BuyFX, if we want to start our analysis, we always start from the highest time frame, from the weekly time frame, right? This is our key zones, all well marked up, and then this is our another resistance key zone. We mark them out, and then the overall resistance zone. So right now, as you can see on the weekly time frame, the overall scenario of this particular market, I'm looking to go bullish on this particular market. Why? Because we had this very huge crash to the downside, and then the market started making consolidation in a channel. It broke out of that channel and then failed to continue down, right? And now is now back into that consolidation channel. And what do we call this particular chart pattern? If you see this chart pattern, it's been called the bullish triple bottom, right? If you can see and then recognize this particular zone, you will notice that we're gonna be expecting a bullish pull to the upside on Euro USD. So we have to go down. Let's go down to the daily time frame to see exactly what the market is. Don't forget, in the consolidation zone, this was the weekly movement, bearish movement to this side, which got support, and then we are now in a bullish movement to the upside, right, on the Euro USD. So what are we expecting now? As you can see, we broke out of this bearish trend, and right now we got support at around this particular zone here. So we are making higher highs and higher lows to tell you that we are in a bullish movement in the upside. As you can see, if you use your Fibonacci zones here, you will notice this particular zone is the premium discount zone of this particular movement to the downside here. That's from this particular zone to here. That's why you saw this particular bearish move to the downside, right? Why we crashed to this particular zone. But right now, as you can relate with the dollar index, if dollar index becomes bullish and continue pushing up, we could see Euro USD more down, at least back to this particular daily support zone here we have, because we are having 1-2 touches here. So this is where exactly, but our first zone of interest is gonna be this particular demand zone, because it correlates with our trend line, right? If you check, it respects this particular trend line. So we're expecting the market to come here and then give us a signal that it's going to reverse, and then we're going to continue buying Euro USD to the upside, right? As you can see, we got ourselves a very good resistance right now. We got a very good resistance at around this particular zone here. This is now, and as you can see, the market is now trading above below that particular zone. This is to tell you we're in a bearish trend, and now there's a breakout at around this particular zone here. Let me zoom in. zoom in. This is on the daily time frame, right? So we are now in a breakout, and then there's high possibility of we coming back to this particular zone and then maybe breakout. A possible breakout is possible to break out and then come down to this particular zone. Then we'll now be looking for buys to the upside, yes, on EURUSD, guys. So now we need to see what price action we are getting at around this particular zone here to know exactly. At least there's a breakout, a clean breakout on this particular zone, and a retest is already been formed. So if we're going to reverse from here, it's going to signal a break on this particular trend line, and there's possibility of we coming down. But if we fail to hold to break below, we're going to continue buying USD, because if you use the Fibonacci zone here to mark out your particular zone here, as you can see, we are past the premium discount zone, so there's possibility of we coming back to this demand zone first. We'll be looking to sell the market after a complete breakout if this zone doesn't hold. Now I'll be selling back to this particular zone here before moving up again. So that's on the daily time frame. So we have to go down to the 4 hours time frame to see exactly what is happening. As you can see, just as we said, this is a clean breakout, a fair value gap. The market came back to fill up this particular fair value gap, and then what happened? We're going to continue down, right? This was a clean bullish breakout to the upside, and then if we check around this particular correction here, this is a bearish correction, right? This is a very good example of a bearish correction channel, right, to the downside, right? This is a very good correction to the downside. And this chart pattern, this particular chart pattern, as you can see, this is a falling wedge, right? This is falling, so bullish flag pattern, right? Some people call them bullish flag pattern, right? If it's gonna be bullish, we're gonna continue up, but we might see a sell off up to this particular zone here, maybe a fall up zone. Maybe the market's moving in a zigzag pattern, coming back here, coming back here, coming back here, coming back here, coming back here after the touch here, and then we see a shoot back up to the upside, right, guys? Do you understand? So if this is a correctional move on the bullish pattern, right, it filled out all possible fair value gaps on this particular bullish push to the upside. So if the market feels it's going to come back to this demand zone, and we're going to look for buys to the upside to continue. What it feels, then we're looking to sell the market to the down to the demand zone below, right? You can see that demand zone here, right? Selling to that particular demand zone here. And if we fail to hold this particular zone, then we're going to be looking to buy from this particular zone and then ride the market to the downside, to the upside, right? That's a quick review on EURUSD and a possible movement in EURUSD. As you can see, this is a correctional movement. You see, this is a squeezing one. Do you see the difference between that particular one and this one? Right, this is a squeezing one, and this is just a channel, so there's possibility of we falling down more before moving to the upside, right? Can you spot the difference, right? As you can see, this particular movement is too bearish. This to tell you this the bears are in control in this particular market. That's why you see the market crashing down completely. Do you understand? So that is it for EURUSD, and then we're gonna move to the next pair. Okay guys, this is GBPUSD on the weekly time frame, and as you can see, GBPUSD, we are also in a related scenario like the EURUSD. Why? Because this was the bearish fall. As you can see, we are now in a ranging pattern in this particular market in the weekly time frame. This is to tell us a bullish confirmation is in form, right? That we sold this bearish movement in this particular trend from this particular zone here. We sold this particular market, sold from this particular zone here on the weekly. This is the weekly sell side liquidity channel and the buy side liquidity channel, and this particular pattern is a bullish formation in play, right? The weekly after buying here, it will now be looking for a bullish push to the upside once there's a completion of a double bottom or triple bottom, right? Then we start looking to buy more on GBP USD. So as we made a review on dollar indexes, if dollar indices fail to hold above that particular zone we analyze back, then we might be seeing more push to the upside. Right now, this is a key zone, a resistance key zone on GBP USD, right? And we are now hovering above a support key zone on GBP USD on the weekly time frame, right? So if we go down, if we zoom in a little bit, as you can see, we had this bearish crash from this particular key zone here to the downside, right? And as you can see on the weekly zone, we have our resistance zone here and our support zone here, right? This is the major support zone and this is a mid support zone on the daily time frame, right? After this particular crash, we have this bullish push to the upside. This to signal us, okay, yes, there's more buying power in the market, and we see the market pushing to the upside after this bearish fall to the downside, right? So right now we are looking to buy long. Why? Because on the weekly time frame we have seen we have been making we have been making we're making both buy and sells on a particular consolidating channel, right, which is signaling a bullish momentum in play in form, right? So we're looking to buy this particular market to the upside. So this particular zone here, right, this is the major resistance zone. So we are expecting if the market comes here, it might get rejected, right? It will get rejected. As you can see, it came close but got rejected. So I'm expecting a complete bullish push to the upside to start looking for. Once we break above this particular resistance zone, we're going to break out and then a retest. We start looking for buys to the upside. This on the weekly time frame. Let's go down to the daily time frame so you understand exactly what I was telling you, right? This was a support zone here, there's a major support zone here, and now this is where the price is. This was the previous low and this is the highest low we have seen in the market, right? So if you go down more, we're expecting the markets to start buying from this particular zone here. As you can see, this bullish push, we are on the premium discount zone. If we can keep holding above this support zone, we're going to still see the market pushing, and then once we break this particular zone here, we're going to go completely long, right? So let's go down to the smaller time frame, like the 4 hours, so you could see exactly what the market is doing, right? As you can see on this particular market, what is happening here. We got a bullish push to the upside, and then we started crashing back. This was a expansion and then exertion. So right now we are still in the exertion phase. As you can see, the market did a correctional move and a push. We failed to continue up, and then we came back down, and around this zone we got support, and then we started pushing up back to this major key zone on GBPUSD, right? So I'm looking to go long, but don't worry, there are enough liquidity at around this particular zone here, so there's possibility of the market coming back here to fill up and then get liquidity, and then we continue riding the market to the upside, right? So let's go down to the 15-minute for possible entries. This was the zone we saw, and we are now above, trading above that particular zone. As you can see, what do we have here? Let me see if this connects and makes sense. You see what's been forming. This is a bullish flag being forming to the upside. After a consolidation, we're going to see a bullish move to the upside. There's the bullish pennant pattern, right? So we're expecting the market to push to the upside. This is on the 15-minute time frame, and then we'll see how it goes. So we'll be looking to push. Why are we looking to buy this market? Because there's a lot of fair value gaps left by the market. So on EURUSD, what I'm expecting for the market to do, we'll be expecting, since this is a bullish flag being formed here, maybe a squeeze, and then we see a bullish push to the upside, right? Something of that nature. But if we feel once we break below this particular key zone or resistor and support zone, this is going to change from a support zone to a resistance zone, and we start selling. But that is not the scenario case, because as you can see, we already forecast that this particular market has been in a ranging channel, and we are buying to the upside, right? So we'll be looking for buys to the upside. So that's for GBP USD. Okay guys, this is for gold, and this is the possible scenario for gold. As you can see on the overall trend on gold, we had this bullish push to the upside, and what happened, we started ranging. We are in a ranging channel, and you know what it means after a bullish movement and the ranging channel. So this is signaling a bearish kind of trend. Right now we touched the all-time high on gold on the weekly time frame. As you can see, when it came here it crashed, when it came here it's crashed, so it's also preparing something similar, right? So on the weekly, this is a bigger time frame or a long time project. As you can see in gold, you know gold is very, very volatile, right? So right now we are now crashing away from this particular sell side liquidity we touched above here. We have a previous movement here, and now this is where we are, right? So this is showing a bearish scenario. As you can note, if you notice from the analysis we started from dollar index, you will notice there is a bullish momentum right now on dollar index. So that should explain why gold should be bearish in the long time also, right? So if we zoom in on gold, as you can see, the pattern that has been formed on gold, you could see a very good bearish scenario on gold, because as you can see on the higher time frame, we got this double top at around this particular zone. This should tell us that this particular market is going to be extremely bearish, at least back to 1902, right? We broke out of this particular trend line, and then we got resisted from the zone, and we got double top. This chart pattern is signaling that the market's gonna sell down to downside, right? So we have seen that, and we have seen that gold has been in a ranging channel after a bullish move to the upside. So between the weekly zones, you will notice gold has been ranging, and that is it, that the gold has completed is does its bullish push in a particular range, right? So we're not looking to go bearish on gold on the long time, right? This is going to be a long project, so it's going to take time for it to come back here, maybe after a confirmation of maybe a triple top or triple bottom. We're going to crash down. We're going to completely crash down on gold, right? So this is exactly what I'm expecting to see on gold. So let's go down to the smaller time frame so we could see more examples of what is really happening. There's the double top we saw on the higher time frame. As you can see, we sold from this particular zone, and now we're now having a bearish flag being formed. This is the bearish correction, so there's possibility of we crashing back down. As you can see, we're already in a rejection, right? A rejection, and then we crash down at least back to 1900. This is a long time project, so you need to be careful. Your stop losses will just be around this particular zone here. Let's say if we're selling here, and our stop losses would be just below here. So our first TP will be here. If you keep holding, you keep expanding, right? Let's move this back, and then right? So our first TP is here. Second TP will be around this particular zone here. Then third TP will be just below this on the higher time frame. So let's go down to the smaller time frame to see what correctional move has been happening, right? This is a correctional channel we are in, and we're expecting a complete breakout, and then we start selling the market to the downside. This is actually expanding, so there's possibility of we coming back here, because there's still a lot of huge fair value gaps, right? There's a lot of fair value gaps that the market needs to fill. So if the market fail to continue down, because this particular channel is expanding, right, this to tell you that the bullish momentum is strong. So we might do something like this, and then break out, right? Break out, fill up this particular zone, and then start come back down, and then we continue our sell to the downside, right, guys? So that's it for gold, and maybe next week we'll be coming back to see how things played out. So the next one we're going to look is the crypto, that's BTC. We're going to check BTC and then make our overall analysis on it for the weekly, and then we'll be coming back to check that also. Okay guys, this is BTC and this is our marked zones on BTC, right? If we zoom out, as you can see on BTC, we're on a bearish trend, and then we broke out at around this particular zone. So we got support and we are now pushing. So we got resisted from this particular key zone on 31,650, right? So as you can see, when we zoom in, we are on a bullish trend to the upside, and what happened, we got in a correctional channel here, and then we broke out, and now we are now in a ranging channel. This particular ranging channel is what we call a bearish flag, right? And right now, as you can see, we broke up below this particular ranging flag. So we'll be expecting to sell this particular market down to this demand zone, and then a possible push to the upside or a complete fill up of this particular imbalance the market has created on USD. So we are moving down, come back here to take liquidity more, and then start pushing to the upside. Let's go down to the 1 hour time frame. As you can see, we broke out of that ranging market. As you can see, we were ranging, started ranging, and then we broke out, and then a complete breakout and retest has been complete. As you can see here, you see we got this correctional push, we broke out, right? And then this correctional push, then we got rejected from this particular zone here, right? We got rejected on this particular zone. So right now there's a possibility of we selling the market to the downside. This is a resistance, right? So we are looking to sell this particular market to the downside after the correctional channel, a breakout and then a correction. Still expecting more breakout to the downside. So that's for BTC. We're gonna at least sell back to our first take profit on BTC will be around this particular zone at 27,350, and then the second one 26,227, and then the last one will be 24918, right? We're gonna sell, but don't forget we might fill up this particular zone here at least back to 27050, right, before we start looking for buys to the upside. So that is it for this weekly analysis, and we'll be coming with more analysis for you. We'll be touching most of those pairs, and maybe if you're just coming across this video, please join our Telegram group where we communicate, community discuss tricks, and then possible insight knowledge on how to analyze the market, where you'll be comfortable, you'll be confident with your analysis, and you'll be able to pick trades without thinking otherwise. Thank you. Please keep sticking with BuyFX. Really appreciate. Please follow and subscribe on the YouTube channel.